Hey guys, so today I'm doing something a little bit different. We're going to do a get ready with me, and I'm going to chat about makeup and money, okay? Because I know it's been going around a lot, and a lot of people have been doing like no buys, low buys, trying to set up restrictions for themselves for the new year. So I'm just going to explain to like what I do, and you guys can get some insight on what works for me. Just talk about like my habits, where I've gone wrong in the past. And at this point, while I've been on YouTube, I feel like a lot more comfortable about opening up about things like this. So let's go ahead. We're going to do our makeup, and I'm going to get this face together, and we're just going to chat, okay? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Ashley, and I have a doctorate in pharmacy. I love makeup, so that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup. Eyeshadow really is my jam, but please just call me Ash or Ashley. Unless you just notice, we are doing a get ready with me, and we're chatting about makeup. So I'm going to be going in with my brows, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the makeup, but not a whole lot. We'll basically focus on the conversation or the topic at hand. And like I said, it's about makeup and money. So I have this conversation, and I'm pretty transparent when I talk or anybody asks me, about like my purchases and, how I've gotten out of hand in the past, or, what I've done to correct it now. So let me just give you guys some background. So as you guys know, I'm a pharmacist. I work for a chain retail. I'm a pharmacy manager. So I am blessed to make a nice salary. I do own my own home. I have a condo. Right when I came out of school, I also purchased an apartment building with my brother. And I've made a few investments that have, been able to turn around and turn a profit for me at the same time on having, a nice salary. Now, with money, I like to think that I'm pretty good with money. Oh, I also don't have any children. So like for money, I would like to say I'm pretty good with money, and then at the same time, I'm not pretty good at money. Like I want to buy things, but I want to have money at all times. And I mean, in the past, now at 37, turning 38 in May, I have gotten a hand on my budget. I have created a lot of healthy habits as far as money that just have really just helped me. And money is such a taboo topic, but when we're talking about this makeup and I'm showing you things, like it just really goes hand in hand, like for real. Because a lot of the things that I show to you, they do cost a pretty penny. They're expensive. We're fortunate. We might feel like maybe $50 is not a lot to spend on a palette, $35, but for somebody else's budget, it could be a lot to spend on a palette or something that they just can't afford. So I always just try to keep in mind that, I am blessed, and I've been afforded a lot of opportunities due to my education and just like working with my cousins and just trying to, do a little bit better than our parents did for us, like pull our resources together. So, makeup has always been something that I have loved from the beginning of time. So I don't know if you guys have known that, but I have talked about like maybe on other people's lives where, my mother was into makeup when I was a little girl. It was more so probably some medium range brands. I don't know all the brands, but I know she had like a chest, and it was like a lot of drugstore and stuff in there. But the point is, like I would play in it. One time I was in the bathroom and I think I was like no more than like 3-4 years old. And I was in the bathroom, and you know how when you're in the bathroom alone as a kid, like your parent is just like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine." And my dad is like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I was in there like, my mother had like this big chest, and I'm just painting my face. I mean, I had makeup everywhere. It was down my undershirt. I mean, just everywhere. And so finally, he was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And he comes in the bathroom, and he was like, "Denise, come look at your daughter. Look." I had makeup everywhere, y'all. So I've always loved makeup. She was the type of person that would do her eyes to match her outfits at least I would see these more in pictures because I was like, well, what happened? And she was like, well, you know, I had you all. And I was just like, oh, okay. Excuse me. So now she does like, you know, a basic face. She doesn't really do eyeshadow, but you know, she'll do her lips and, you know, like her lipstick and her base makeup. And she is into like, you know, highlighter and certain other things. So, I've always had a love for makeup. My first makeup, like for real, was, or like, you know, my first, makeup, like the Bonnie Bell. Remember the Bonnie Bell lip smackers and stuff? So I had all of those lip glosses, and you know, I would take my birthday money and get stuff, or if we would go to Ulta, whatever makeup store was around at the time. I think it was Ulta. And I would ask for stuff like that. I don't even know if that stuff was around. I really remember buying like those lip smackers and the Bonnie Bell stuff at like the icing or Claire's. I think it was more so the icing. Like they really carried a lot. And I was always into lip stuff. So she would let me wear the lip stuff and everything. And then in high school, I got to wear the eyeshadow stuff. And it was nothing too crazy. But then, you know, it was like the late 90s, early 2000s in high school. And you know, the aesthetic was just different. Like, you know, it wasn't no transition shade. It was just like a line of eyeshadow. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I had on mascara. So I've always been into it. And then I would buy my MAC pigments, you know, once I was in high school. Now, keep in mind, I always had me a job, okay? I always had a job. I used to work at my dance studio. I used to dance. And I used to work there on the weekends. And I used to babysit. So this is the Glam Shop primer, and shade Honey Cake. And I used to babysit, and also I used to make skirts. Like, I don't know if y'all remember the Lauryn Hill videos, like Everything Was Everything. And she had that denim skirt on, and it was like, it looked like you took a pair of pants and make the skirt. So I wanted one, and I was like, well, that's a lot of money. So I think it was selling at Express. I used to wear Express back then too, but I was like, oh, I had a sewing machine. I kind of like my grandmother had started teaching me how to sew. So I used to make skirts. I came back to school and they were like, oh, where did you get the skirt from? Because Lauryn Hill was so popping at that moment. And I was like, I made it. They were like, what? And I was like, yeah, it's going to cost you $20 and you got to provide the jeans. You know what I mean? So, you know, like I've always had a little job and I would purchase stuff I wanted to do. You know, and as far as expenditures, I've always had kept in mind, like I need to save money. I have these things coming up that I need to do, so I can't spend all my money. You know, you have to be able to afford things that you want to do or things that are coming up. So I've always had that mindset about money. Now, being that I still like to shop, I like clothes, I like shoes, I like makeup, I like a lot of different things. So prior to me being on YouTube, I had a nice makeup collection. Like I said, I had all those MAC pigments. I showed them basically in my single shadow video where I decluttered them. Well, I didn't declutter them, but I was decluttering some other things. And I've had like a sizable makeup collection. And then I was very into MAC, and somewhere along the lines, like it just got boring. And then eventually I picked up Urban Decay a few years later, and I was like, okay, I like them. I want to try it out. So, let's see. So for eyeshadow real quick, I know I'm going to go in with this shade from the Glam Shop. It's called Abracadabra. It's a really pretty green with like some peachy pink reflex in it. Really, really pretty. Been wanting to use the shade. I think I've only swatched it. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go in with the Blend Bunny Dollhouse for my mattes, or am I going to take Surge? So that was Dollhouse. This is Surge. Just kind of stuck my finger on it a little bit, but it's all good. So I'm trying to figure out what approach I want to take. So basically now we're up to the time where like I'm working as a pharmacist. I've bought my condo, you know, I've gotten into makeup. I think we're talking about like 2014. I'm using what I have, and every once in a while I'll pick up some more MAC lip glosses to, you know, supplement whatever I've ran out of and things of that nature. So, go here. So then, Mac just becomes boring and I get into Urban Decay. And then I wanted to see, like, I started watching YouTube here and there because I wanted to see, how to fill in my eyebrows. Because at that time, like, filling your eyebrows was really, starting to be the thing. And it wasn't just about getting them done. Like, you had to fill them in too. So I wanted to learn how to do that. Plus, I think I was going out for New Year's and it's like, okay, can't find my eyebrow lady. So then I think I picked up an Urban Decay palette. So I started watching YouTube and I got really entrenched into watching YouTube. And, somewhere within a year or two, and I'm talking like 2014, 2015, I was like, I really want to have a channel. But I never started that. I didn't even start my channel until 2018. So it's just like, I really want to have a channel. So at this time, like, I'm watching YouTube and y'all, I am purchasing makeup. Like, I'm on YouTube. Like, if a YouTuber that I talked about it, I watched a lot of Fancy Face. I watched a lot of Jackie Ina. I watched a lot of, let's see, Jaclyn Hill a little bit. I think Samantha March was coming on the scene somewhat in this time. And this is prior to me starting my channel. So like releases that were coming out, I was purchasing them. And I was purchasing to the effect that, as if I almost had a channel. But I was enjoying my things. I was using them. But I started picking up some bad habits, okay? I was purchasing too much. I was still purchasing other clothes, having to help out family, like my brother with some things, and just everything in between that comes with stuff. You know what I mean? Just doing too much, And then a lot of times I was also purchasing a lot of other makeup that wouldn't even sometimes, I wouldn't say it wouldn't work for my skin complexion, but things that I thought I was interested only because some of these YouTubers were mentioning it, but things that I wasn't necessarily interested in or just purchasing. I'm like, I don't even need to have this. You know what I mean? So one thing, luckily, that didn't get too crazy was like my foundation. Because at this point, I was just wearing my bare skin and I wore eyeshadow. And even when I kind of started in YouTube, I was doing that. But at a point, I decided to start wearing foundation because I was just getting older and I just like the coverage at this point. You know what I mean? So, I mean, sometimes I was just purchasing too much and not the right things sometimes, Some things were really great. Some things were really not good. And, like I said, I kind of realized like where I need to rein in my habits and not be purchasing everything that comes across YouTube, because why do I need it? I'm not on YouTube. I'm not showing it to anything. And even if I'm on YouTube, I don't need it either. So, I had to rein it in. So one thing I did, I decided to do a no-buy. And let me tell you, that was like, I don't do no-buys. I did a no-buy and it was a complete disaster. I think I did one in January of either 2016 or 2017. I did a no-buy, and literally when January is over, the first or the second day of February, I took myself to Sephora and I bought everything underneath the sun. I probably spent like $200. Terrible. So no-buys don't really work for me. So I prefer to just be more strategic. And sometimes this is like, you want things, but why are you going to torture yourself? You know what I mean? And I just had to get to a place where I'm like, okay, let me just get to a healthy medium, like where I'm bringing things into my collection, but I'm going to bring in things that I truly think that I'm going to use. I'm definitely going to look at people's opinions and stuff like that, because I still do, but I'm just not going to go overboard. I'm going to do what works for me, So, okay, that's a lighter green, but I think I want to deepen up the green, so I'm going to pop in with Surge a little bit. So it's just like, this is not, the route that I need to be taking, because there's no reason for me to do a no-buy if I'm just going to go out and buy everything. And it kind of felt like torture. I didn't like it at all. So I started changing my approaches. So, I never kind of put a limit on what my makeup that I'm going to buy. If you saw my videos where, like the recent video where I acquired probably like 60 something palettes in 2021. But yeah, I did. And it is what it is. But I'm not going to put strong limits because I kind of just go out of place. But I put kind of financial limits, if you know what I mean, on there. So, Beauty and the Friends has just been kind of doing like a lot of series on her channels about makeup regrets, and it's because she was just like, I have too much. How did I get all of that? And I was like, yeah, friend, that might be a lot. Like, I have a lot, but I didn't buy it all in one day. You know what I mean? And I don't think at that time it was just necessarily my makeup purchases, but it was, I'm purchasing makeup, I'm purchasing clothes, I'm purchasing other items, I'm taking trips, I'm doing stuff like that, going out to eat a lot. And it's like, you got to do one or the other. Either you're going to cut down spending here, or you keep it here, or you're going to do something here, you're going to rein in you're going to rein in the spending here. It has to be a balance. You just can't be out here buying everything up. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm happy with that. Let me see, go in a little bit more. But so eventually, I got my finances on better road. And I mean, like, they weren't bad, but they weren't good. You know what I mean? It could just be better. You know what I mean? It's like and here's the thing, like, I worry about money, but I don't worry about money. Okay. I worry about money. And then when I start feeling like an anxiety thing, I'm like, stop it, give it to God. He's going to work it out. It always works out. And it does always work out because I do plan ahead. I do budget. I do like think about things in the future. I do save, but I was just like, I need more. I need to save more. And I still feel like I need to save more, because I don't want to just have like all these material things to show for my money. I want to have savings. I want to, if an emergency comes up, I want to be able to like just comfortably take care of the emergency with not relying on a credit card and things of that nature, and having a good nest egg and stuff like that. So things like that I take very seriously. So what I decided to do, I just kind of revamped it. So, now I'm starting YouTube. When I started YouTube, I wasn't working at the time. I was on disability. But because fortunately I had a lot of insurance, and I had insurance, it was workers' comp because I was hurt on their property. And, I was getting paid for that. Plus I had disability insurance plans that I pay for separately, through State Farm. And, I was set. The only thing I had to worry about was literally just getting better and making sure like whatever paperwork that was needed was turned in on time. So that was like very fortunate, very blessed, because some of those things I had pre-planned for. And just to give you like a little hindsight, like my stepmother, or my bonus mother, as I like to call her, she is a State Farm insurance agent. So I have a lot of insurance. Okay? I pay more insurance than in my mortgage, okay? I think what I pay State Farm is more than what my mortgage is. I mean, like I think, I used to be like, my mortgage is the greatest offender. I think State Farm totally just across the whole year is the biggest offender in my life, okay? And so, and it's like, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because like things have come up. And here's the thing with that, just planning and just making sure you have stuff, to the best ability. It's just not going out of your way, but sometimes it's just like you have to shift your priorities, Like I stand up every day, all day to do my job. So the way I got hurt, I've told this, somebody tried to carjack me, and carjacking is big in Chicago, and it has been across a lot of cities, and it probably happened a little bit before. It was super big, but I was very aware. And the only reason that like the guy didn't get me, because I saw him coming, and he had a gun. He was running towards me literally with a gun. Okay. So like, you just never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So at this point, like I've got my stuff together. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Luckily I had these insurance plans in place, because what if I had to go back to work? Because I can't stand. I could not stand for a whole year. I ended up hitting my legs underneath the dashboard when I was fleeing from him. My only concern was do not get shot. He was running towards me on my driver's side. And the one thing that I did wrong in that scenario is that I pulled into the parking space instead of backing in. If I had backed in the parking space, I could have just gone straight. But I was backing up and I hit a light pole, but it scared him off. But he ran up to me even after I hit the light pole, and he was just like, oh shit. And then went the other way, but like the way people are, like they will shoot you even after they get your car. And that's just the reality of the streets. And I was paying attention when I got in the car. I was not on my phone. I saw him coming. I did a scan of the parking lot. You could not tell that there were two individuals sitting in a car. They had their lights on, and it was all corroborated on videotape. Like as soon as I turned my car, and that's when they turned their car. And I was backing out as soon as I got in that car. And they were literally trying to take me out. So it's just like a blessing. So now I start my YouTube channel because, I always have this theory, like life is short, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I need to just start my channel because, what am I scared of? Like, at least if I try and nobody watches, I tried. You know what I mean? If it didn't work out for me, I tried. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. I tried. And so I had this pretty sizable makeup collection, and I'm still keeping up with new releases, and I'm only buying. So if you notice, like when I started my channel, like if a collection came out or if a series of palettes came out, even still to this day, you notice I won't buy the whole collection. If I don't like it, I'm not buying the whole collection. And I was kind of like that too prior to my YouTube, but sometimes like, you get on YouTube and you feel like you need to have the whole shebang for people to watch. No, you buy what you're interested in, because I don't want you guys to be buying a whole bunch of stuff just to be buying it. And that's not what you want. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't do anybody any favors around here. It doesn't do my subscribers any favors. It doesn't do me any favors, especially because I'm little, in this game. Like I just gotten to the point where I'm getting some PR. Like I got the Blends Bunny, this one. This one was gifted to me, the Dot House, the newest one. And I'm also appreciative. But I was planning to buy it with my own money, But the thing is, I just really do people a disservice. I do myself a disservice because now I got all this stuff coming in that I don't want. All this waste, and what am I showing? Like you have to have everything? No, you buy what you want. You buy what you want out of the collection. And I never want you guys to come on here and feel like because I show a lot of brands, I'm showing what I'm interested in. I'm having so much fun trying a lot of these indie brands and things like that, that I'm generally excited about it. So people that I know that watch my channel, like they have a lot of the same makeup preferences as me. And I'm like, okay, well, I think that you would enjoy this based off of what you want. And there are a lot of brands that I like, but I don't feel like I need to be always so loyal to them. Like I'm loyal, but I'm not loyal. You know what I mean? Like I like stuff, but I'm not going to buy everything. I don't even have everything by Pat McGrath. And I love Pat McGrath. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong where this is kind of going away, or either that's just my little corner that doesn't like to always stick right there. So it's like, tread with caution. Just don't mess with it. You know what I mean? But this palette is actually really fabulous. But the point is, it's like, you have to do what's best for you. So, if ColourPop came out of the collection, I'm like, no, I'm not buying everything. And if what I want plus shipping is cheaper than me buying all this stuff to get free shipping, I'm just going to buy what I want plus the shipping. If what I want plus the shipping comes to $22, I'm going with the $22. I'm not going to find two other things to throw in my cart to meet 30 or 40, whatever the time is with that shipping to get free shipping. And that's what I do a lot of times. Like every once in a while, will I break that rule? Yes. Because sometimes I'm like, well, I did want to try this lip gloss, so I'll just throw it in there. I'm not going to say I never do, but a lot of times, like what I do to keep myself in check, like if the item I wanted from ColourPop was $15 and that shipping is $5, I'm out at $20 and I'm good. I'm not going to spend another $15 because that's just more money out of my pocket, even with the shipping, just to get free shipping and just to have some stuff that I don't want laying around. No, I'm not going to do it. And I'm not talking about anybody who does that. I'm not talking, but these are some of the things that I've learned that just helped me out so much. Also, when it comes to budgeting, this is how I budget my money. I don't have a makeup budget. So some months are heavier than others, and some months are heavier than others when it comes to bills. So this is the shade Abracadabra. Am I going to put, how do I want to put this on? Okay, I'm just going to go with my finger, I guess, because that's what's happening. But how I budget my money. I get paid every 2 weeks. I know what my bills are. You know what I mean? I have my mortgage, my assessments, student loans, other stuff, you know? And what I do is usually I pay myself first. I take out money that, of course, I have money that's coming out automatically, like that goes to my 401k. So what it is that we have a profit sharing or a 401k plan where I work. And so that comes out. And then in addition to that, I pay myself first. I always put like a few $100s or whatever into my savings account first. I pay my bills. And the money I have left over is what I have left over. So, but I always keep myself a cushion, like a little extra rainy day fund in my bank account. And it could be whatever. And the cushion takes time to build up. So don't think that you're just going to have this cushion automatically. So if you're starting this process, this is the easiest process for me. You know what I mean? Where I don't have to be too rigid with myself. I don't have to be confined and anything like that. So let's say I'm starting this off and I'm like, okay. And I read this a long time ago, and I started doing this and it just worked. I was like, this is so much easier than like, I'm only spending $200 for this. I'm only doing this. I only can do this. And then you're out of money. You're like, I feel so restricted. I don't like that feeling. But I've paid myself first. I've paid my bills. Now I have money left over. And I say to myself in my bank account, okay, now from this point on, I always want to have $200. Like, let's just say you're starting off. I always want to have $200 in my bank account all the time. So when I get to the $200 mark, I know I can't eat out. I know I can't buy them pair of shoes. I know I can't buy that eyeshadow palette. I can't do nothing. Then start increasing it. So then it's $500. Now it's X amount of dollars. So I always keep a healthy cushion. So now if I have the cushion, if something emergency comes up, like, I don't know, something broke around the house. God forbid. We don't want nothing to break. But maybe something broke, or I have to pay an extra bill that came out, like a medical bill or something, and I need an extra $200. I have it there. I don't have to dip into my savings. I don't have to use a credit card. So now my cushion is depleted a little bit, but I work my cushion back up. And I always have this amount of money in my checking account. And then I know when I get paid, like I have this amount of money, but when I get down to this particular minimum I want in my bank account, like I got to stop spending money, or I'm getting close. You know what I mean? So that works for me. And that way I use that. I count that as the money. Like, okay, I get my nails done. You know, that's the money I'm buying my makeup with. If I want to buy any clothing items, things like that. So that is a practice that I use to balance my checkbook and keep myself in check without feeling like, oh my God, like I'm such a strict budget. And that way I can do what I want to do. You know what I mean? So some months I might not buy any clothes. Some months I might buy more makeup. Some months I might not do anything. Some months I might eat out more or whatever. But it's like I always have a balance. Like, this is the amount of money I have left after I pay my bills and after I paid myself. And this is the money towards where my cushion is. I start getting towards my cushion. Oh, I got to stop. I'm going to have enough. So another thing that I do is I kind of follow, like, you know, Trend Mood and, you know, Makeup Release Radar and Makeup Craze and Indie Makeup Spotlight. And I see what I want, because at this point, like, everybody's sneak peek. Okay, I hope. I was like, the camera cut off. I was like, I hope I didn't cut off. At this point, like, we have all these releases. I'm going to go in with this. Like, this is something I'm working on panning. I'm almost done with it. But we have all these releases, and, you know, that's the money. I'm buying my makeup. Some months I might buy more clothes. Some months I might eat out more or whatever. But it's like I always have a balance. Like, this is the amount of money I have left. Like we had Sydney Grace, we had the Nomad, we had I Know Glaminatrix is coming up, and we had the Adept Plain Jane remastered. So at first, like, you know, anytime I see anything by Sydney Grace, I'm like, oh yeah, like I know I'm gonna want that. And they showed a sticker of the palette, and then the actual palette came out, and I was like, I still want it. And then after a while, like a week before it released, I was like, I don't like that packaging, so I don't want it anymore. Okay, I got sparkles all over my face. And that's my fault, because I don't even really think I had any fallout, but it's probably whatever was on my finger. So hold on. All right, I got as many sparkles off. Anywho, so like the Sydney Grace, I was like, oh, okay, I love this palette. It's so cute. And then the more I started looking at it, I was like, I do not like that packaging. It is driving me crazy with all them X and O's on it. And then the color story is really beautiful, but I'm like, it's kind of reminding me of something I have. So, no. So I decided not to get it. You know, and it also works the same way as like if something else that I know is really coming out. Like I know if, let's say, Pat McGrath is going to drop a release. Maybe I won't get a release by somebody else because I'm like, I would rather have this than to have that. You know, so that's how following those particular pages help me out, because I'm like, oh no, I'm not buying this because I know in 3 weeks this is launching, or Adept is going to launch in 3 weeks. Glaminatrix is going to have something. They're having, you know, their nocturnal palette in 2 weeks. So I'm like, no, I have to spend money on that. That's how I keep a lot of my purchasing in check, because I just know using coupon codes, using Ebates to get your cash back. Of course, when you guys watch my videos, I'm starting to make a little bit of money, more money on YouTube. So thank you. But it's not nothing. I'm like, clearly most of them, you know, whatever I'm bringing into my channel, I have paid for it right out. And then even if brands have like Afterpay, sometimes I will use that because it keeps my budget more fluid. You know what I mean? Even if like, I like to wear Vapor Max gym shoes, especially to work, because they're very comfortable and they have a lot of support, but they're by Nike and they're $200. But if they have Afterpay, I'm going to use it because $50 every 4 weeks, great. $200 at one point, plus it's no interest. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it keeps my little budget fluid, you know what I mean? Where I can keep more money in my pocket at that time, you know, and I only allow myself maybe 1 or 2 Afterpays at a time, because that can become very dangerous at the same time, or any type of those little programs. PayPal has it, Klarna. I think I've just used Klarna for the first time though, around Black Friday. I bought a bunch of linen for my bed. Just things like that. Those are little things that have just helped me. But I would say the one thing that helped me is just always keeping a cushion in my checking account that I can use if something goes wrong, where I don't necessarily have to dip into my savings. And just having like that free budget. Like, this is the money I have to spend on going out and makeup. This is what I got to spend. When I hit this budget, that number that I have, then I gotta be like, nope. You know what I mean? And it just really helps so much more than you ever could know. Also, I try to buy not to buy things just to buy them. And then I have a lot of eyeshadow. I have just come to the realization that I have a lot of eyeshadow. So other parts of my collection, I keep a little smaller, like foundations and things like that. Plus, I have really dry skin. So everything that comes out, it's not going to always look the greatest on me. You know what I mean? Because a lot of stuff that usually comes out is meant for, except for now, lately, a lot of skin tints have been coming out. It's usually meant for people who, you know, like matte finishes. But right now, like, I'm out on my Pat McGrath foundation, and I'm like, I want it, but I'm trying to, you know, use this up. Use one of my foundations up, like either this Marc Jacobs that's like empty but not empty at the same time. It's the weirdest thing. And I've had this for so long, or my Rare Beauty foundation. Use that up before I purchase something else, you know, just to have something accountable. But This is something like I wanted to come on and talk about because I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I'm buying too much. But you have to set yourself some type of rules, and everybody has to figure out what the rules are. I just prefer my rules not to be so rigid. Another thing that I don't usually do a lot, when I go to Sephora and stuff like that to like pick up a palette I want, I usually just buy what I want and maybe one other thing sometimes and get out of there. Like, it's not often I'm just going into Sephora or one of them stores just to look. Because that equals trouble. Because you will buy a bunch of BS and you be like, oh, this is cute, this is cute, this is cute. And you look up and you have spent all this money. So I'm trying this out. This is the Juvia's Place Bronzed. This is the shade Tan. I think this is something I went into Ulta by my house for to actually probably get more of this, and I picked this up. So, and then I put this in a drawer and I forgot it was even in there. So yeah, see, that's why you don't do stuff like that. So now, like, I pulled it out after I decluttered. I was like, oh, we're going to use this. Okay. Oh, the color is pretty nice. Okay. And it's a darker color too. I'm going to just focus on the lighter one at the moment. But and it's not to say that stuff like that isn't good, but you just know how it is sometimes. You have to know yourself. You have to know your habits. And if you've done wrong in the past, let me tell you, don't beat yourself up about it. Just do better. Anytime you could just do better with the situation is so much better than you just beating yourself up, because you would just cause yourself more anxiety, more stress, more anguish about, I like that, than just trying to fix the situation and make better choices. It's just like, when you're upset about your weight and then you're just like, let me just eat this. And then it's like, well, that didn't make it better. It made you feel better for a second, but not, you know what I mean? So that's what I try to do. Or even this is also something else. Like, you see people that have certain eyeshadow palettes and you're like, should I get that? Should I get that? You'll see palettes and you're like, do I need that? Just because, like, you won't even miss it. It's just that everybody else has it in their collection and you feel like I should too. You know what I mean? Especially like watching YouTube could just be like a slippery rabbit hole sometimes. But you have to know like when to stop for you. And just because something's great for somebody else doesn't mean it's going to be great for you guys. And I don't want you guys to just come on here and when you watch my videos and be like, Ashleigh's just pushing something down, because you have the option whether you want to buy it or not. And you have to do whatever you think is going to be the best for you. So I think I'm going to take my Raw Honey blush by Melt and get something. And then sometimes just like taking a step back from what you want to purchase just really helps. Like, I know Samantha March calls it her double take. And it can be the same thing. Like, just how it's just like, okay, Nomad. I'm going to want the Nomad. I'm going to want the Sydney Grace, then Glamour Matrix. And as I took a step back, I was like, I don't want the Nomad. I like Nomad Cosmetics, but I don't want it. You know what I mean? It's not doing enough for me. It's really pretty, but it's just not. I have, Fire and Ice, and that has a lot of blue in it. And I don't think I need anything, too extra with it. So, you have to find those balances. And look, so that was 2 palettes right there I talked myself out of. Possibly 3. Was this? I feel like there might have been something else. I'm going to go back in with Abracadabra, and I think this time I'm going to spray it a little bit so it can just pop a little bit more. I'm really happy with how this look is turning out. It's very grungy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it gave it some more. So this is actually not like a turbo shade by Glam Type. This is more like one of their, I don't know, more regular shadows. Not like one of those high sparkly shades, but it's really nice. So, okay, I don't know if I'm going to kill the look or not, but I'm going to go in with this little kind of purpley shade. It's called Ultra Pretty. I just need something for the inner corner. And I didn't want to take like a green shade. And this is also by the Glam Shop. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, because I was like, I just need something. I don't want it to get too bright. I just need something to put there. Yeah, so that's basically like how I govern myself. how I've learned to just really keep myself in check. Because I know y'all be like, Ashley buy a lot, but I save a lot of money also. I have it coming out every week also into other little funds. So like I don't even think about seeing it or spending it, you know? So let me see. I'm going to do some lashes and liner real quick and I'll be back. I added my lashes and liner. So this is the final look. I think it came out really, really pretty. And it was just fun to play with some of my single shadows. And then I went ahead and added this particular the Divino by Pat McGrath. Like, what is it? And this is the shade Temptress. It's, like I said, it's one of the Divinos. So it has a lot of shine. I need the moisture. It's been so cold. My lips are like, no. Okay. So this is the look. I hope you guys enjoyed this topic and what I do to just like kind of keep myself on point, making sure the makeup is not getting out of hand. Even though like it is out of hand, but at least in my bank account, it's like, it's not out of hand, okay? I mean, obviously, I would have a lot more money if I was to stop buying makeup. But it's in with my budget, so it works. So that's the point we want to get to, where we're not just overspending and we have a balance. And finding a balance that works for you. Because if it's not going to work for you, it's just like, forget it. You know what I mean? It's too constricting. And that's how I like this particular plan that I'm doing, because it's like I'm just free to kind of do what I want to do. So leave me a comment down below, like what mistakes have you made in the past? What have you done to get yourself back on track? Are you doing like a low buy? Are you doing a no buy? What do you allow yourself to do? Give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be very, very soon. And subscribe to my channel, because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And with all of that being said, you already know how we end the videos around here. We gotta hit it with the chat. Hey, chat. Chatties. 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 All right, y'all. Bye.